and welcome to our flow this lovely day. My name is Krissy, and we'll be doing a all levels Vinyasa class. And once again, you can bring some blocks for a nice assist. Also, some blankets or pillows if you prefer that for Shavasana, or some cushioning. Otherwise, we'll just get started in a nice, easy cross-legged seat. You can find just a gentle place. No need to get fancy here. Palms resting face down on the knees, and the eyes can gently close down as we just tune in to our bodies and our breath. Allowing your awareness to get absorbed by the breath and the movement of air coming in and out through your nostrils. Notice if there are any thoughts that are very loud, that are vying for your attention. Just allow them to be there, just knowing that they float on by unless you grab onto them. Now just bringing your awareness back to the body and fluttering the eyes open. You can bring the arms out wide, open them up, fill the chest with the light of the sky, and then round the shoulders, closing off the heart, bringing the hands together, rounding through the spine, chin to chest. Once again, open up the arms, lift the heart towards the sky. Exhale, round it, feeling yourself contracting. One more time, open up, feel the shoulders open wide. Exhale, backs of the hands come together this time. And then bring the palms together, arms come up overhead with the palms touching. And then reach your arms back so that your shoulders go behind your ears or as far back as you can. Hug those ribs in so that you're not flaring out. And then make a circle to the left with the arms and then reach over to the left. Get a nice side body stretch. Looking up and under that right tricep. Keep the right seat heavy. Come back through center, make a small circle to the left, and then lean over to the right. Reaching the arms over, really pressing the palms together, looking up and underneath that left tricep. Coming back through to center, cactus the arms open, and then bring the hands back to the knees. I'm going to take a few circles with the shoulders, kind of allowing that warmth and the heat we found to integrate into the muscles. And we'll take that one more time. Reach the arms up overhead. And then grab the right wrist, lean over to the left. Maybe this time the left arm plants down. You go a little deeper. Coming back through to center, right arm, grabbing the left wrist, reaching up and over. Maybe release that right palm to the mat. You maybe reach down with the right elbow. Coming back through to center. And we'll find our way into a tabletop position. So you can keep the toes tucked or flat. Shoulders are over wrists. hips are over knees. We'll just take a few cat-cows to warm up through the spine. So reaching the belly down, chest comes up for cow. And then around the spine, hug the belly in for cat. Up and out with the chest and rounding. So feel free to take this at your own pace. Be intuitive with your body. Make any adjustments you need. You can rock the hips, move forward and back. Just have fun with it. Find what really needs the opening, the spaciousness, and then dedicate your breath and send it to those areas. And then finding your way back to neutral, bring the left hand to the center and then swing the left calf off to the left, and the right leg will come out long as you reach the right arm up. Coming into this modified side plank, opening up, feeling those long lines. Maybe the right hand comes over towards the temple line as you reach across. Maybe you reach even for the back of the head as you cradle it and you open the chest towards the sky for a gentle back bend. Glutes are squeezing as you lift the hips up and the tail slightly tucks. And then you can bring the hand back down, make your way back into tabletop. We'll take that on the other side. So right hand comes to the center of the mat. Swing the right leg off to the side. The left leg extends out long as you reach the left arm up towards the sky. And then up and over the ear. Maybe you grab for the back of the neck or the head as the elbow reaches high, and you get a nice opening through the chest and the upper back. Come back through to center, make your way to a tabletop position, tuck the toes, and then lift the knees off the mat, coming into our first downward facing dog. So find your breath and a nice gaze point in between the feet behind you as you find some subtle movements through the legs. Maybe you're pedaling through the feet, rocking the hips, but just keeping the weight evenly distributed through the hands and the feet, pressing down through each finger pad, really lengthening through the elbows. You can keep that nice gentle bend in the knees if it feels good. And then just finding your way to stillness, bringing your awareness back to your breath. And then you can come high onto the balls of the feet, and we'll just take a gentle walk all the way to the top of the mat until the feet meet the hands. You can keep that gentle bend, and the torso will just drape over the thighs as you rock back and forth, finding a gentle sway. Maybe you grab for opposite elbows, or if it's in your practice, you can leave the hands on the mat and go straight in for a deeper stretch. And hugging into the belly will allow you to get deeper into the fold. Release at the jaw, release the tongue and the face. And then with weight into the heels, bend the knees and rise on up. Upward salute, arms overhead. Exhale, hands come through heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. So bring the feet together to touch. Bring the big toes and have a little bit of space between your heels. We'll just start with some nice gentle sun salutations. So reach the arms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, dive over the legs, forward fold. Inhale, flatten through the spine, halfway lift. Hands can come to the shins or up to the thighs or out in front of you. Just keeping that nice long spine, gaze is right out ahead. Hug through the belly. Exhale, fold. One more time, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step the right foot back for a low lunge. You can rock with it here, just getting into the legs, dropping the hips a little and then lifting them back up. And then plant the right hand, lift the left arm towards the sky for twisting lunge. Both heels are pressing firmly away from one another. And then the left arm will come back down to the mat. Drop the right knee. Rise on up for a crescent lunge. Lift the heart towards the sky. And then reach the arms out wide like we did before. Open the chest. And then round. Let the palms come together to touch. Reach the arms overhead with the palms touching. And then lean over to the left. Keep that side body stretch, really hugging into the abdomen. And then back through to center. Take a little circle with the arms, really opening through the shoulders. And then over to the right. Maybe you drop that right arm down if you feel open through that left side body. Back through to center. Hands come down, we frame that front foot and step it back to a high plank. So establishing your plank pose, hug the belly in, and then lower all the way down or halfway for chaturanga. Hug the elbows in. Coming up for an upward facing dog, feet are flat on the mat, hips can be up or down if you're in cobra. Pressing through the hands, lifting the heart, and then rolling over the toes, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Sigh it out. 3 breaths here. Rise high onto the toes, step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Weight in the heels, rise on up, upward salute. Hands come through heart center. Exhale, Tadasana. Now just find your center once again, and we'll take another sun salute. So inhale, upward salute. Hands come through, forward fold. Exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, flat spine. Plant the hands, step the left foot back, coming into low lunge. Rock with it, find the space in each of the hip joints. Really feel your body here. And then reach the right arm towards the sky for a twisted lunge. Pressing through your long lines, feeling the strength of your legs as you push down through the earth, connecting all 4 corners of the body. And then plant that right hand back down, drop the left knee, rise on up, crescent lunge. Open the arms out wide, hugging through the belly. And then round through the spine, palms come together to touch out ahead. Once again, open the arms out wide. Squeezing those outer thighs together to really give you stability. And then arms come up towards the sky with the palms together. Give the arms a little circle to open through the shoulders. And then we'll tip over to the right. Maybe you drop those right fingers down. Reaching back and across. Finding every corner of the body to build space into. And then coming back through to center. Give the arms a little circle to the opposite direction. And then lean over to the left. Pointing strongly through the hands, through your palms, really pressing together, hugging up through the sides of your waist. And then coming back on through, release the hands, frame that front foot, lift the back knee, and flow through your vinyasa. So lowering halfway down, hugging elbows in, pressing down, lifting up for upward facing dog. And then hips come up and back for downward facing dog. Sigh it out. Find your sounding breath of Ujjayi here. Feel the heat in the body that's building. And once again, come to that awareness. Allow yourself to be absorbed in this practice. Coming up onto the toes and walk or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Weight in the heels, rise high. Exhale, Tadasana. Last round, we'll stay in motion, Sana A. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, diving down. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant the hands, make your way back to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, pressing firmly through the legs. Hips go up and back, downward facing dog, let it out. Pedal it out here. And then when you're ready, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Weight in the heels, sit back, coming up with your arms for chair. One breath here, feel the heat in the legs. And then rise high, arms to the sides, Tadasana. Find your center once again, the eyes might close down. And then bring the feet together to touch with a little bit of space in the heels. And once again, sink back down for chair pose. Arms come up overhead. Weight in the heels. If you look down, you should be able to lift the toes a little bit. Hugging at your center. Feel the energy through each fingertip. And then bring the hands through heart center as you twist to the right, hooking that left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. And the gaze goes towards the sky. If you look once again at the knees, they should be even and parallel so that the hips are square. Feel that heat. One more breath. Exhale, fold over the legs. You can take the feet wide, sway at the hips, and use your middle finger and peace finger to grab the big toes and then pull yourself over your legs as the elbows splay out wide. And you can sway back and forth. Releasing the toes, heel toe the feet back together and sink back into your chair, bending the knees, lifting the arms up, hugging that belly button back towards the spine. Feel the heels really pressing down into the mat. And bring the hands to our heart center, twisting to the opposite side, right elbow hooks onto the left leg. As your gaze goes towards the sky, if you look down, if you notice, pull that right hip back so that it's once again even with the left. Last breath, you got this. Hold it here. Exhale, fold over the legs. Release that breath. Heel toe the feet out so that their hips width distance. And then this is a great place for blocks if you can't do this with your hands, but just allow the backs of the hands to come to the mat and then step all the way forward so that your toes are tickling your wrists a little bit. And just really step on the hands, give them a nice massage. You can have a slight bend in the knees here. If this isn't possible, this is a great place for blocks, and you can just leave the backs of your hands there and get that same wrist stretch. You can release the hands now, heel toe the feet out to mats with distance. So the toes point out a little, and then as you come down, bending in through one knee and then the other, we'll make our way into a squat pose, Malasana. As you come down, keeping the spine straight, hands come to heart center. Lifting up through the pelvic floor, that Mula Bandha. In one straight line of energy. If this is really hard for the hips or it doesn't feel comfortable at the knees, you can always sit down and just bring the feet out a little wider and just hug yourself here. You'll still get a great opening for the inner thighs and the hips. You can also bring a block underneath your seat. Femur breaths here. Maybe you windmill the arms, opening the left arm towards the sky. And then the right arm towards the sky. And then bring the hands back in front of you, plant them, lift the hips up for forward fold. One breath, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Step it back to plank or hop to chaturanga. And lower it down, flow your vinyasa. Inhale, heart opens. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your drishti once again. Feel yourself arriving back with awareness each time the mind has wandered. Come high onto the toes, step your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Weight in the heels, rise on up, upward salute. Exhale, hands come through heart center. So let's play a little with our standing sequence. So bring your feet about hips width distance. We're going to start with a balance. So we're going to take figure 4, standing or standing pigeon. And we'll start bringing weight into the right foot. So lift the left leg up high so that the knee is at a 90 degree, so that the leg is at a 90-degree angle. And then bring your left ankle over your right thigh, right above the knee, flexing the foot. And then just sink back into that right leg as you come down, keeping the foot nice and flexed. And come down as low as it feels comfortable in that left hip. Hug in through the belly. And find your breath. And then we're going to transition into eagle. So allow that left leg to just fall over and continue wrapping so that the left thigh is right over that right thigh. And then you can continue to wrap the leg around. So maybe this right foot or right ankle comes and grabs the outside of that right calf. If not, it's fine to just have those top legs crossed. Then you bring the arms out wide, and as the left leg is on top, the left leg is going to cross under for eagle arms. Reach the arms up high, away from you. And then you can stand tall, keep the arms, but shoot this left leg back, coming through to a high lunge. That's where we're headed. But go as slow as you can, keeping control. And step it back as you reach the arms up, really opening through the chest, through the heart. Hug that belly in. Reach the legs away from one another. And then open the arms out wide. Open the chest. Offer your heart to the sky. And then round, palms come together to touch as we've been doing. Reach the arms up overhead with the palms touching. Little circle over to the left. Reach the arms over to the right. Side body stretch. Back through the center. Little circle off to the opposite direction through the shoulders. And then over to the left. Back through the center one more time. Open the arms out wide. And then plant the back heel down so that it's parallel with the short edge of your mat. Interlace the hands behind the back. Maybe you strain through the arms. Lift through the chest, one breath. And then dive your torso to the inside of that right leg for humble warrior, allowing the palms to reach toward the sky as you squeeze those shoulder blades, coming to the inside of that right leg. You might be fine here. Maybe if you're feeling a little fatigued, you rest your torso on that right leg. Really, the top of the head is moving towards the mat while still maintaining our strength and our integrity through the legs and through the belly. Find your breath in these challenging moments. Allow it to carry you. And then rise back on up. One breath here. Inhale. And then hands frame the front foot. Back heel lifts as you drop the back knee down. Now just walk this right foot out to the right a little bit, coming into lizard lunge. So getting right into those hips again. You can stay up here onto the fingertips. Or if you want a little bit more from this, you can come down onto elbows. You could also lift the inner edge of that right foot open, and maybe you bring your hand just gently touching the inside of the knee to give it a little opening in a different area. And then coming back up onto fingertips, this could be enough for you once again, or maybe you bend and you bring that left heel towards the glute and you reach back and around with the right arm to reach for the outside of that foot as you hug it in, getting a nice quad stretch, opening through that right shoulder. Really use the glute muscle and the hamstrings to pull it in, not your arm, because we don't want to overstretch at the knee. Allow the muscle to be bringing it in, and the hand is just resting there. You can release that foot, plant the hands, and then heel to the foot back into center. Lift the back leg, and now just bring that left knee back and behind the right knee and sit yourself down. We're coming into a twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So the right leg is planted outside that left thigh as you hug the thigh in with your left hand and you twist around, looking back towards the right hand as it plants. Now this is a great twist. It's also an option if for you want to hook that left elbow to the outside of the thigh. Hugging through the belly, keep your seat firmly planted. This twist should be coming from the torso and not the hips. Coming back through to center, hands come and plant next to that right foot. We're going to come all the way up into standing splits. So if this is in your practice and you know where you're going, great. Otherwise, plant the hands, lift the seat up and come onto that knee, and then lift that left leg high towards the sky. Hold yourself steady and just keep those hips square as you lift that left leg. Chest points down, hugging the belly in, using the left glute to lift that leg higher. And keep it pointed or flex, and just relax the shoulders. One more round of breath here, false expression. And then the left leg meets the right. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Optional vinyasa or rest. Lowering halfway. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Set the knees down. And we'll take puppy pose for a rest in between the sides. So walk the hands forward about a foot so that they're at the top of the mat. And then sink your heart down towards the mat as the seat comes high towards the sky. Chin can be tucked as you look forward, or you can keep the your one cheek to the mat. If you want a more deep stretch in your shoulders, you can come onto fingertips, or you can walk the hands closer together. Walking the hands back in, coming up high, making your way back for downward facing dog. Pedaling it out, and then on an inhale, lift the heels and walk or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Weight in the heels, rise on up, upward salute. Hands release by your sides. Second side. So now we're bringing weight into the left foot. Reach the right knee up 90 degrees. And then cross that right shin over the left knee, coming into figure four, sitting back. Keep your drishti, your gaze point, at a solid point out ahead. Flex through the toes. And we'll come into eagle. So just continue to let that right leg, like the foot is kicking off to that left wall that's out next to you. Just let it keep going, and really just let the right leg fall on top of the left so that the thighs are crossed. And then you can continue to wrap that right leg around your left leg, allowing the calf to cross. You just want the right knee stacked above that left knee. And then open the arms out wide. Right arm crosses underneath left. It can cross as high as possible, so on the triceps. And then once again, crossing at the forearms and the palms come together. If the arms don't cross, you can leave the backs of the palms together. Otherwise, just stay in this nice eagle shape. Keep an eye on those hips. Make sure they're not moving. Keep them square to the front of the mat. And then rise up high, unravel that right leg, lift the knee, and then take it as slow as you can back into our high lunge. So just tipping back, the right leg is high, balancing out behind you. Hug the belly. Maybe you come through a quick warrior 3 variation. And you step that right foot back. Heel is lifted, arms reach high for our high lunge. Tailbone slightly tucked so the glutes engage. Hug in at Uddiyana Bandha, that low belly lock. And then release your arms out wide. Open the chest to the sky, keeping the belly hugging in. And then round, really letting the shoulders come forward and relax as they press away from one another at the shoulder blades. And then the palms come together, reach your arms overhead. Reaching back with the shoulders squeezing together. Take a circle to the left and then reach up and over to the left. So you're getting a right side body stretch. Back through the center, a little circle now to the right, opposite direction, feeling that mobility in the shoulders. And then reach it up and over to the right, left side body stretch. Coming back through the center, cactus the arms out wide, open through the sky. Lift your heart. And coming down to frame the front foot, drop the back knee, and then walk that left foot out to the edge of the mat for lizard lunge, getting into those hips once again. We'll come back up to our high lunge, plant the back heel down so that it's parallel to the short edge of the mat, and then interlace the hands behind the back, coming in for our humble warrior. So reaching those shoulder blades together, squeezing them, really opening towards the sky, and then just begin to bring the torso forward to the inside of that left leg as you bow the head down for humble warrior. Really pressing firmly through the feet so that the inner arches of both feet are lifting, pressing through the big toes and the heels. Hands continue to move towards the sky. Feel the heat building. Allow your breath to just absorb any thoughts that are telling you that you can't stay. Unless, of course, you're in pain. We rise on up. One breath in, heart faces forward, and then we frame the front foot, this time coming into our lizard lunge, so walking that left foot out, keeping it planted, and then reaching up with the chest, coming onto fingertips if that feels good, really feeling through that right hip flexor is nice and open, and then you can come down onto the elbows, Another option, if you want to go deeper but want to keep the hands planted, is maybe try walking that right knee back a little bit. Otherwise, you can keep it where it is. Glutes are just still subtly engaged as the hips are a little bit lifted, so we're not dumping all of our weight into that left hip. Just keeping a nice subtle engagement of our muscles, protect the joints. Otherwise, we're just allowing the opening to happen, not forcing anything. Just breathing space into these corners that have gotten all the stuff in. And then if you want it, you can reach the heel of that back leg towards your glute and reach up and around with that left hand, grabbing for the inside of that back foot as you pull it closer towards your torso, and getting a nice quad stretch through the right side, as well as a stretch for the psoas, the hip flexor muscles, really keeping them nice and extended. Our hips are so often in passive extension passive flexion as we sit, and we keep them bunched up, but really allowing them to stay in that flexion actively is what will protect them, and really counterbalancing it with nice extension. And then you can come back to the top of your mat. Heel to that foot into the center of the mat as you frame the front foot. Lift the back knee toward a nice low lunge. And then now just bring that right knee back behind the left ankle. Set yourself on down over to the right so that the left foot is planted on the outside of that right hip. We're coming in for a twist. So wrap the right arm around, reach the left arm back and behind as you twist towards the back of the mat. Nice breath in. You can reach the right arm up. And then maybe you hook the elbow to the outside of that right thigh. Looking behind, spine is long. And then on an exhale, bring your torso back towards the top of the mat. We'll come into standing splits on this side now, planting that left foot firmly. You have your hands planted as well. If you want to go straight into standing splits, go for it. Otherwise, come back up onto that right knee so that you have a little bit of balance. And then lift it up, and then lift that right leg high. And fold over the left leg as the right leg keeps reaching towards the sky. And open up. This is another spot where engagement, hugging into the belly, will really bring you deeper into the fold. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw and the tongue. Notice where you're gripping. One more round of breath here. Really hug it up towards the sky. And then allow the right leg to meet the left at the top of the mat and fold over the legs. Rise high, upward salute, inhale. Hands come through heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. So we'll make our way through a final vinyasa, optional, or we'll just meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop back. Lower your way. Heart opener, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Exhale, side out. Arrive once again at that gaze point, reminding you of that inner stillness, that unchanging presence, that all of the body has moved so much, still remains unchanged within you. And you can drop the knees and make your way to your back, or just hop through. We'll sit down. And then we'll just slowly, with the feet planted, palms face up, lower vertebrae by vertebrae down to your back, hugging that belly in. And then you can walk the feet in a little until the fingertips touch the backs of the heels. We're going to take a few rounds of back bends. So we're going to start out in bridge pose to warm up our spine. Really feel the tail and the sacrum very much planted firmly on the mat. You can really even grab your hip bones and just very slightly plant yourself so that there's that engagement of the low belly, and you're just tilting it a little bit towards the sky, not a tuck, just a little tilt. And then as you press in through the heels, feel the glutes engage as you lift up vertebrae by vertebrae through the spine. Really, the energy is pulling the knees together. They're still hips with distance, but you feel that internal rotation of the thighs. As you press down, maybe you shimmy your shoulders closer together. You prop yourself up on those shoulder bones. And then you just have a nice squeeze at the top. Allow your gaze to follow the rising and falling of your chest. Slowly lowering back down onto the belly. You can hug the knees into the chest, keep them together, or allow them to splay out wide. Maybe you rock the knees, make circles with them coming towards one another, and then away. And then you can plant the feet once again. We'll come back into either bridge pose, or if wheel is in your practice and you feel warm enough, we'll start out in bridge first ways, and then we'll make our way to wheel. So once again, coming in, lifting those hips up, feeling the energy through the heels, engaging the glutes. If you feel stable here, you can bring the hands close to your ears. The fingers will face the torso, and then press really firmly through the hands, but through your feet, coming onto the top of your head. If you feel good there, lift yourself up, expanding, really keeping the engagement through the feet. So all of the weight isn't in the hands. You have equal engagement. You're pressing through the toe pads, really opening through the chest. Squeeze through the glutes. Maintain that integrity. And then you can just slowly lower back to the crown of your head. Chin comes to chest as you make your way down onto your back. Once again, you can hug those knees in. You can rock them side to side. Or make some gentle circles to massage the low back. And then we'll plant the feet down. We'll take one last back bend, whatever back bend's serving you most, so bridge or wheel. If you're coming straight into wheel, you can plant the hands by the ears. Elbows are not hugging in, but they're directly parallel to one another. Press up through the hips first, squeeze at the top, and then lift yourself up, coming into wheel or bridge. Feel that energy circulating through the body. Taking nice deep breaths. Taking any movements that you think would serve you, but staying safe, not to overtax one area of the spine. So keeping your back bend even throughout the entire upper, mid, and low spine. And then you can bend the elbows, bend the knees, tuck the chin, and lower your hips back down. We'll come right in for happy baby. So the knees come out wide, hug them into the outer ribs, and then grab for the outside edges of the feet as you hug yourself, those arms, the inside of your legs. And then you can try just pulling on one foot as you bring your right knee down towards the mat, and then pulling down the left knee towards the mat. See how that just kind of naturally rocks you side to side, but also gives you a nice opening through those hips. And then you can hug the knees in, plant the feet down. We're going to come into an inversion. Our inversion for this practice will be shoulder stand. If shoulder stand if you're more in a restorative position where you just kind of want to relax, a great option is waterfall. So just lifting the legs up and allowing them to rest. You can even bring this to a wall or bring a block underneath your seat for Viparita Karani, and that will be even more restorative. Otherwise, we'll allow the feet to come up right in front of you so that the legs are pointed towards the sky and the palms are face down for now. Hug your shoulders in and using a little momentum, lift the hips up. As you press down with the elbows, allow your hands to come to your low back. Hug the elbows in a little bit tighter and then allow the feet to come up and straighten the legs like you're an arrow as you point them towards the sky. Keep the neck stable, don't move your head around. Keep a nice gaze point on the ceiling, hugging through Uddiyana Bandha, that low belly lock, and Mula Bandha, as you feel your glutes engage, pressing through the elbows, as you just hold yourself up here, feeling the blood recirculate. Maybe close the eyes down. Press through those shoulders. And we'll take this into plow. So slowly, hug the belly in, keeping the core engaged. Allow the legs to come behind you. So we're allowing the hips to come into flexion. And then maybe the toes will come out behind you. If you feel any pinching or soreness in your low back, any spasming, that's a good idea. Maybe lift the legs up. You can even hold them here or bring a block beneath you or behind you. Or you don't even have to come into plow, so it's not accessible for everyone. You can just find your way to a nice, comfortable back. Otherwise, allow the toes to tuck under And the palms can come to the mat as the arms extend, really keeping the legs engaged. So engage the quads, and really just feel it here as your neck stays very still. Another option is to allow the knees to come down to the mat for deaf man's pose. So the knees will come and fall by the ears as you hug yourself in a little cocoon. If you're in deaf man's pose, you can tuck the toes back under. Everyone in plow. We'll bring the hands back to the low back as you come out the way you came in. So lifting the feet back up and then slowly lowering each vertebrae down to the mat, keeping the legs close to the torso, lowering them down. The hips come down, and then slowly the legs make their way down onto the mat. Now hug both knees in, and then bring both knees over to the right for a nice spinal twist. The left shoulder plants down as the gaze follows towards the left. Bringing the knees back through center, then allowing them to fall over to the left. Gaze can be towards the right. And then bring the knees back through center. Give them one final squeeze. Hug everything in. Tense up all those muscles. Squeeze it in. And then on an exhale, release everything. Spread out wide for final relaxation. Shavasana. Arms can face up or down. Use any blankets or props that will make you comfortable and truly just release yourself. I encourage you to continue this Shavasana for 3 to 5 more minutes or as long as you would like. But it is time for us to end our class. So you can join me in a seated position or remain in your Shavasana. We'll just end with one sound of Om. Nice in breath. May there be peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me.